Hey everyone, it's Tim again here, and I'm just at my place. And this time I'm kind of talking about Elijah and the prophets of Baal. And just because some of the things that were shown to me seems a lot like what's going on today. There's first thing is the situation. The prophets of God are being murdered, they're being called bigots. They're being laughed at because they're speaking out against sexual impurities and sexual distortions. Sound familiar? But anyways, I want you to notice something very specific about Jezebel at this time. Notice the people she puts around her. They're all accepting her claim to power. Think about it. There's 400 prophets of Baal, 450 prophets of Baal, let me get that right, and 400 prophets of a god named Asherah, or a goddess named Asherah. That's 850 people. Not one is challenging if she's correct in what she says. And even when Elijah, the prophet of God, comes in, she wants to kill him. Now, Ahab, who is known for being completely spineless, decides to go ahead and play along with Elijah's challenge just because he's afraid of what might happen. So they're going up to Mount Carmel where he chose. And they're setting up the altars, and Elijah says, let you guys pray to Baal and Asherah, not sure how to pronounce it, and I will pray to the Lord, and the God who answers by fire, let him be God. So that's what they're doing. The prophets are going first. They're dancing around, they're praying and things, and Elijah's kind of mocking at them. One thing that I think is funny is it specifically says, Elijah goes, "Hey, maybe your God's taking a dump." No, really, look it up. Some versions of the Bible, it says, maybe your God's relieving himself. So, but that's pretty much it. And the fact that they even will go to shed blood because they thought that the God will answer Baal. That's the thing. Baal was known to be a very ruthless and insane and angry God who would demand blood and would even demand that you kill people who disagree with what he said for waging war against them. Is it just me, or does that sound a lot like another god today out in the Middle East? Begins with an A. Anyways, and we all know what happens. Nothing happens. We even think that the prophets may have passed out from the blood loss, but there's nothing there. Elijah gets them moved over. He not only prepares his offering, he douses the offering 4 times with water. Yeah, this isn't going to light, is it? And he simply gets on his knees. He doesn't pray, he doesn't dance. Well, he doesn't sing, he doesn't dance. He does pray. He simply says, let all Israel know you are God. And then fire comes down and destroys everything. Okay, I'm going to mess with your theology a little bit. Are you ready? Fire from heaven was not the miracle of Mount Carmel. That was just God saying who he is. The miracle here is the fact that Elijah survived it. Think about it. I've looked this up, and there are some scholars who believe that the trench around the water may have been around 2 feet. Do you know how hot fire has to be to dry up 2 feet of water? It burned up the offering, sucked up the water, it burned up the stones. This fire is hot. You know what the fire didn't burn up? The prophet of God. The reason why I'm bringing this up is I feel like there is someone who he knows where you know that God is capable of showing up and making himself known. You're worried you're not capable of handling it. You're afraid you're going to get destroyed by it with everything else. Trust me, not only is God all-powerful and all-knowing, but he cares about you too. Just like Elijah. I've been saying Elisha the entire time, haven't I? It's Elijah. But just like God had Elijah in his hand, he'll carry you in his hand, and he will get you through it. And afterwards, after the whole Battle of Mount Carmel, if you can call it a battle, Elijah goes off, and it hasn't rained since then. There's been a famine the entire time. And Elijah is praying for rain. And he tells his servant to go out and look. There's nothing there. So he prays some more, sends his servant again, and he says, I see a cloud the size of a man's hand. For a cloud that's not very big at all. Yet Elijah jumps up and he goes and tells Ahab, it's gonna rain, be ready. Before he can even get back, it's downpouring. That shows the faith and the mercy and the willingness of God. That's all I have for this time. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.